Well, Monster Call is not an easy movie to define. This is probably one of the main reasons I did this film. At the end, I think there's this idea of the truth and to be brave enough to tell the truth, which is ultimately what we do as filmmakers. We try to find the truth and express it. You know, that was a beautiful parallel.
Was that difficult for you to take your own work and put it into a script?
Not in the sense, because my attitude towards it was that the book remains. Whatever happens, I'll work as hard as I possibly can to make the movie as good as I possibly can, whatever my contributions can be to it. But the book remains and is mine. So in a way that made it easier. It made it easier to relax about the material. It made it easier to make changes for what every book needs to change to become a film, because films are books. So that made it easier because the book will always stay mine. And it's such a personal book to me that actually made it an easier process.
And Felicity, tell me about playing this character. Was it emotionally trying to sort of play this mom who's struggling with being sick and has a young son and all of that?
Well, it felt important that for Lizzie the illness isn't at the forefront of her mind. Her focus is on trying to live and be there for her son. And so it was very much for her that the illness is a nuisance. It's something she just doesn't want to confront in any way, and for all of them, in fact, that's such a huge feature. None of them want to admit what's happening because it's unbearable.
So, Jay and Lewis, maybe you can talk about shooting the scenes with the actual monster. I mean, it's motion capture. Like, what is it like for you to act opposite that? What does it look like for you when you're shooting those scenes?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. I'm not always just acting to nothing like a green screen. What they did was they actually made a monster's head to scale, which had like mechanics in it, so the mouth would move and like the eyes would light up in it. And I'd also be hearing Liam's voice at the same time. So, that definitely helped rather than just acting towards nothing.
And what do you guys hope people take away from this movie when the credits roll and the movie's done and they're leaving the movie theater?
I think A Monster Calls is a lot about perception. And I think every single viewer of the film should have his own perception of the film. I think that's interesting, to leave like a space, a gap that the audience needs to fill, and you see that when the movie ends up and you see the silence in the room and everything is not thinking about the movie but thinking about themselves, which is the kind of storytelling that I'm interested,